What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. And in today's video I thought it would be cool to recap week 4 of this block. This was the first block we were able to properly squat, deadlift, and also of course bench after the knee surgery. So I thought fun to see how far we've come in 4 weeks. Day 1 of this week started with a nice heavy set of 5 on bench. I managed to do 145 kilos, and given that my current body weight is sitting around 111 kilos, that is definitely a PR at this body weight. I think the best set of 5 I ever did on bench was last year during prep, where I hit 160 kilos for a set of 5. So this might be a good goal to shoot for in the next block. I'm pretty happy with how bench developed over this block overall. I started very slowly. I believe in week 1 we only did 120 kilos to then rise up to 125 and 135 during the past few weeks, and now 145 moved very well. It was a bit shaky, but overall also on the back of my bench arch was there, and I felt like I had tons of stability. Now moving on to day 2. This is my primary squat day, so to say, as well as some deadlifts afterwards. We started off with which should have been top set triple with 110 kilos, but instead I did 5. I just didn't know within the moment how much I needed to do, and better safe than sorry, because the weights are still insanely easy. It's a bit of a mockery, to be honest, moving these weights, since these are normally my first warm-ups when doing squats. But I guess this is how you get back. This is how you improve tendon strength and improve your overall capability in your joints and your tendons to handle loads and to exert force. Now moving on, we also had not only squats, but also secondary deadlifts. And secondary deadlifts for me are usually pause deadlifts. After surgery, I decided to go back and start off with conventional. I am not pulling sumo anymore, so I have to grow accustomed to pulling conventional, and the paused deadlifts should help in me just getting comfortable in the starting position, just trying and experimenting what works, what doesn't work. How can I have my hips down? How can I have my back as neutral as possible? What position can I exert the most force out in? Stuff like that. So the top single moved very well at 180 kilos, and especially also on the back offs, where I have full resets, which help tremendously in just like getting a training in to learn a habit of how to set up, how to grip the bar, how to position, or where to position my legs, where to grip the bar. These are all things that are habits that need to be trained and improved on over tons of repetitions over time. Very grateful for the full resets, because these allow me to train exactly that. And the goal is really to achieve a pause as low as possible above the floor, while also keeping my hips from raising up with the bar, but instead staying there and just wedging into the bar. After secondary deadlifts, we moved on to the day 5. I skipped day 3 and 4. Day 3 is my secondary bench, and day 4 is just a pump upper body session. And so we move right into day 5, where we start with the tertiary bench, which is usually my top set 4 of 3 count bench. Helps me tremendously practicing stability, especially in the bottom of the motion, practicing keeping my bench arch high and priming myself for the primary days, which follow usually just 3 days later, so that I will be perfectly able to execute properly on the comp lift. Backoffs were just unspectacular. I believe I did 8s with 110. Once again, just rep work, just building. It's the off season, I have nothing to lose. So we're trying to build volume, trying to build strength, and overall, I would say more focus right now also on hypertrophy. On deadlifts, we moved up and eyed on a top set of 200 kilos for 441. This would be the second time of me pulling into the 400 pound range. And I have to say, right after the session, I was not so happy with how the deadlifts moved. In my opinion, they moved a bit too slow off the ground. I'm not used to stuff moving slow off the ground. In the past, I've always been able to be really fast off the ground. And additionally, I had then problems with the lockout, because my back was quite a bit of or there was quite a bit of back flexion there, enabling me to get the weight fast off the ground, but hindering me in my lockout. And now it is literally the reverse. I am now very good at locking out, but getting off the floor, staying in the right position, especially keeping the hips down, is insanely hard for me. And that is something that I've literally been working on for the past few weeks, trying different techniques, trying stance widths. As you could see from the 70 kilo warm-up where I showed from the front, I have a very wide stance right now and I'm gripping almost on the rings. But this really helps me to be able to keep my back neutral and also sit a bit more into the deadlift so that I can have my torso nice and up while not sacrificing position or leaning over the bar too much. All in all, I have to say I was the happiest, I believe, with my paused deadlift, so my secondary deadlifts on day 2 during this week. The top set on 200 in retrospect moved well, moved okay. Definitely stuff there to improve, but I'm confident that if I can now settle on a specific technique, I can definitely pull the 200 better. But within the session, I thought I could just try immediately. And there I tried a bit of a different technique where I have more of a dynamic start and not really focus that much on keeping my hips down. And as you can see, my hips rise immediately, but so does the bar, and then I can lock out the weight, but it is putting me in a slightly more disadvantageous position. If you can see that I'm almost doing a stiff leg deadlift where my legs are already locked out before the bar even passes the knees, and therefore I'm pulling everything out of my back, out of my hamstrings, etc. And this is something we're trying to work on to negate and improve upon. This was the weekly recap of week 4. Next week is probably going to be a deload week, and then afterwards I'm excited to start a new block, and then I can already feel that from block to block my knee is getting healthier and more stable so that I can push more weight, and the 200 kilo deadlift block ending definitely goes to show that. Although we're still quite a bit away from my old weights. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I wish you all the love, all the power. Have a good one.